caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome. I apologize, everybody, for a little bit of a late start today. I am a little discombobulated. I've been doing interviews all week. So I had my studio downstairs. I get home from work. I run upstairs. I get everything to going. One light just decided to stop working, and it was on from there, man. I had to set everything up really fast. But we have got an awesome week. Listen, this is I want to tell you about this show is going to be centered on me. I apologize. Maybe you don't want to hear about me or any of that stuff, but this is going to be centered around me. Hey, do me a favor, close the door. I forgot to do that. Sorry, I'm talking to my wife. She was just walking aside. But I had an incredible week, and I had a very unexpected, incredible week. And I want to get into that. I want to talk to you guys about it because it highlights something very interesting. We had a religion episode, if you remember, 2 weeks ago, where I wanted religion completely separate, completely, totally away from government. And what you see going on in my town is almost like religion marrying government, but in the way of votes, in the way of zoning laws, and who knows? I'm not gonna accuse anybody of like illegal stuff, but it's rumored that this type of stuff happens. And listen, what's happening right now is, I think it's indicative of, and what the story I'm going to tell you when we get into it, it's indicative of our society as a whole. Like, a lot of people ask, what is America? Like, what is America? We say we're this melting pot, but I think we used to be a melting pot. And I have to ask everybody before I really get into the mics right. Are we turning into a country that's completely and totally segregated either by race or by religion? And that's really what I want to talk to you guys about in the mics right. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So here's a thought. America has freedom of religion, right? It sounds great. It sounds noble. Sounds very Jefferson-y. But if we got freedom of religion, we should also have freedom from it, right? Like, do I have to live by rules from a book that I never signed up for and certainly don't want to be a part of? Like, if I'm not Muslim, do I really need to change my lifestyle to accommodate Islamic dietary laws? If I'm not Jewish, should zoning laws in my town suddenly bend like a yoga instructor so someone can run a synagogue out of a 2-car garage while I get denied a patio? Because here's the truth. What's happening isn't freedom of religion. It's religion being weaponized to the rest of us. And if you live in Ocean County, New Jersey, you almost see this firsthand. It's not live and let live anymore. It's live my way or I'll sue you in federal court and call you a bigot on Facebook, while overwhelming the area and forcing everyone else out. You see this over and over again and again, especially in my area. Special variances, zoning laws, courts, and endless lawsuits. But here's the game. Religions act in ways, and religious groups act in ways that nobody else really can, and that's the truth. It's not anti-saying that. It's truth. They'll break the rules behind the cross or behind the crescent or behind the Star of David. And when people complain, boom, they're called names. Anti this, anti that. You hate religion. No, I hate watching you turn my neighborhood into a Monopoly board. By the way, I'm the dog in that game. I recently made a video about a Jewish group that we're going to talk about later. And it's not really a Jewish group. It was about a zoning house ordinance. And they were trying to turn this house basically into a business under the magic shield of a religion. The internet kind of went nuts, thousands of views. It definitely took me by surprise. I went to the town hall meeting and forget it. It looked kind of like Gaza in there without the fighting. Two groups of people seemingly at war. The people trying to preserve their areas and those trying to change it. Does that sound familiar? The meeting was, of course, canceled because they didn't prepare. The town didn't prepare. But what's coming soon? Screaming, crying, pointing fingers, calling names? And, of course, what did I get called for simply wanting to talk? Simply waking everyone up to the tactics. I'm called an anti-Semite by many people. Because apparently wanting everybody to play by the same rules makes me Hitler 2.0. But here's the thing. I don't care what you call me. You have nothing else? Nothing else? Anti-Semite? Is that the best that you have? Oh, no, please, not that. Anything but that label. I don't care anymore. Not that I ever gave a damn about what people called me in the first place. But it's been overused. Plus, I'm sorry, Israel, and this isn't to Jews, this is to Israel. Your bombing quota has been filled for your claims of anti-Semitism. You've killed yourselves into no longer being able to hide behind that phrase. I'm sorry. It's time to just be honest. That's the boy who cried wolf playbook. Try harder. You don't impress me. Meanwhile, the reality is regular people are being forced to accept situations that they don't follow the same set of rules for, but they have to abide by. Osha County, you are all forced Semites. Congratulations. You didn't join a religion, but you have to live under one anyway, or move from your home. It sounds like an awesome choice, but it sounds a little bit like forced vaccines and mask mandates. But I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but that's the result. And the logic here is kind of insane. Somebody moves into an area that doesn't have what their religion requires. Instead of adjusting, they just rewrite the rules. Buy a house, don't live in it, turn it into a religious center, which, let's be honest, is a service business wearing a fake mustache. But because it's a religion, you dodge taxes, dodge regulations, and run it as a nonprofit. But hey, don't worry. It's not commercial use. It's just God's small business loan paid for by your tax dollars. And when you step back, you see what it creates. It creates segregation. Yes, religious segregation is alive and well in America. Hell, all segregation is alive and well. Just look at our schools and colleges. This segregation, though, results in whole neighborhoods being turned into homogeneous groups. And not through choice, not through organic community, but through zoning law manipulation, lawsuits, labels, and guilt trips. So let's have fun. For a second, let's have fun. Close your eyes. And if you're driving, good luck. But now I want you to imagine skinheads. If skinheads did this, if some neo-Nazi group decided, you know what? Only white people with bald heads and the devil in their hearts can live here in these neighborhoods. And they took over entire neighborhoods and entire towns. Only those who live our way. What if Satanists took over whole neighborhoods? How fast would the state come crashing down on that? But put a different religious sticker on it and suddenly it's untouchable. So here's my idea. Besides everybody just playing by the rules, which apparently we can't. I'm going to start my own religion. We call it Mikology. Here's the first rule. Everybody in town has to buy me a steak dinner once a week. No exceptions. Oh, you don't like it? Well, it's too bad. It's my religious hardship. It's my belief. It's the Lord that commanded you to feed the hungry. And I'm famished. And you better go do it, or you're not going to be an anti-Mikite, are you? Or I need a variance too, because my religion requires that I build a cigar lounge on your front lawn and a float spa in my living room. Sorry, it's sacred. It has to be there. We have to leave drunk every day at Mikology. That's how Mikology works. And look, that may sound ridiculous, but is it really any difference from what's happening now? Some religious rules are insane. They're not my rules, but they're all commanded from some guy nobody talked to from a book that's been rewritten 1,000 times. And we have to abide by it. Religion is being used as a sword, not as a shield, just like it always has. And I get it. Your religion is the best. And every time people try to resist, they're smeared, sued, and steamrolled. That's not freedom. That's tyranny dressed up in stained glass. So yeah, freedom of religion, fine. But I'll take my little freedom from religion as well. Because if I wanted to live in a theocracy, I'd take a one-way flight to Iran, or I'd move to Lakewood, New Jersey. It's right down the street from me. What's amusing to me is this. Lakewood, New Jersey is so now overwhelmingly one group that it is anti-Semitic just to say the word Lakewood. And it's anti-Semitic just to say that you don't want your town turning into Lakewood. Saying there's an invasion or a takeover of Lakewood, definitely anti-Semitic. And the irony is, Lakewood used to be really diverse, but now it's all white, all monolithic. So you change Lakewood to where its meaning no longer means diverse; it means religion. That should make everyone think about how ridiculous we've allowed religious groups to run wild with zoning laws in this country. And it's going to lead to our demise. Right now, there's a race to populate America. And the non-religious are being bred out. And when do you wake up to a theocracy, not of your making and not of our making? Then you'll all be forced Semites or forced Muslim. You have no choice. Welcome to the new religion, guys. The one you didn't choose, but it's been chosen for you anyway. I don't know. You tell me where I am wrong in the chat. All right, let's get to it. Mike, my man, Fresh Mike, what is up, kid? And listen, if that was a little bit, you're going to understand the Mike's right in a minute when I start getting into some what I just went through, man. You're going to understand it in a minute.
Man, I've been trying to keep up with your social medias, which it's, been going nuts. So I feel like I understand a little bit of it. But first, let me just say, happy Friday, y'all. My man Calder Reese coming in hot today. Woo! You know what I mean? Like, normally Friday's like, here's some wacky anecdotes and some things to think about. And now he's like, I'm blasting you. Politics, religion, race. Fuck it all. I'm like,
let's go. You get some. Listen, man. Dude, I know, like, we've been talking since that happened, and I wanted your real reaction to this, right? But from when I just kind of witnessed this week, it was like showing up to a football game, and just to get people up to speed, right? I made a video, and this is the crazy part about what we do, Mike. Tell everybody if this is wrong or right or indifferent or whatever, right? Sometimes you make a video and you think you're genius. You're like, oh man, this is definitely going viral. This is hysterical. People are going to love this. You put it out there and it gets 12 views, right? And you're like, wow, I guess that sucked. So then all of a sudden you have a customer look at you and say, Mike, they're building what they call a mikveh down the house from me. Now, what a mikveh is, and I'll get into it in a little bit more depth in a little bit, just to kind of give the different perspective, because I did a lot of research on this, but it's to make a real short story and then we'll get into it later. A mikveh is kind of like a bathhouse for Jewish women, and there's certain rituals that are involved in it, and there's a certain way, but it's basically, after something happens to them with their monthly, they have to go through it, and then they come out. And people moved into an area and they wanted to build one of these out of a single family home, right? So I made this video, took a picture of it, made a video, put it out there. Next thing I know, it's going crazy. Thousands of views, 20-something thousand views on TikTok. It's going nuts. Then I get to the meeting, and I figure this, I got to go to the meeting. People were messaging me. People started friend requesting me out of nowhere, right? So I get to this meeting. I set up the camera. And, man, the place was absolutely jam-packed full of people. And, my dude, like, before we get into it, I know you have a lot of questions and stuff like that. You saw the ineptitude of any type of government, because you saw a guy make a video on this, and maybe they didn't see it, but all the rest of Manchester did, and it got thousands of views in your area and everybody talking about it. And you're telling me that you didn't think that this was going to be to the point where you had to have it in a bigger room? We had people that could barely even fit in there. They were waiting outside. They were packed to the gills into this place, and of course it got canceled. But it was amazing, because it was literally like walking up to a football game. You had the Jewish side, and you could always tell what the Jewish people in my area, because they have, a black jacket, black black pants. The women, certain orthodoxies could dress a little bit different, and they, the hats and everything. And then you had the other people, right? And it was literally walking up to a football game where it was hundreds of people there that showed up to talk about their town. And it was just, you start thinking about it, and it's like, it's great that they're doing that, but aren't they really forcing their religion onto us? That's where the monologue came from. Now tell me, with that understanding, what'd you think?
First, it got canceled.
So yeah, the meeting got canceled because the amount of people that showed up could not fit the room. They had it in a room that maybe fit 100 people, and then the place is packed.
That shouldn't be justification. You know what I mean, for canceling the meeting, especially in the summertime where it's not freezing. You have people wait outside. You're like, look, guys, we're gonna let 50 people in. If you want to hang out, great. If you want to go home, great. Fire code, and we will allow people in as people speak. You come up, you speak your little group. Because most of the time people aren't solo when they come in, right? So, your little group of 3, 4, 5, or, whoever's supporting you, you get up and speak. We're going to ask you to leave so somebody else in your community has it, not to cancel because they're scared, bro. That was a fear move right there. What BS, man?
Well, they had to, because it was really like, I think it was a fear move too. I'm being honest, because there's no way there's a school literally right across the street. You could have did it at the high school. You could have did it in the high school gym. You could have set up some chairs, set up the bleachers. People could have been sitting there. They could have came down. There's a way to make this happen. There's different towns that have done this in the past, right? You think about it. I set up a studio in my house up and down, and you tell me you can't set up a couple cameras or a couple microphones, because I don't even think they're recorded with that. So, yeah, you're right, man. I think but this is the stuff that you're seeing. And I talk about local government a lot because people don't realize a lot of times when we're focused on all, oh my God, Trump and Netanyahu, or Trump and Putin, they're met in this summit in Alaska and all. And while we're focused on that, you have things going on locally where you turn around and go, what the fuck are they building here?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? What are you people doing in this? And then all of a sudden you turn your attention to them. And then inevitably you become something. It was amazing how many names I got called. And I wasn't there being nasty, bro. I was there hanging out. I had the camera set up. The interesting thing, bro, so when I walked into that place, I could tell people I've never felt this before because my videos never went this crazy. Sorry if I'm long-winded today, but this was a lot.
I want to hear these things. And right? I got some questions. I want to know, if you want to answer as you're rolling, and you want to address this part. What was the percentages of people on your side? Because we clearly saw people coming up to you, you know what I mean, patting you on the back, thanking you. And then there's clearly some people very unhappy with you. So what would you say the percentages are?
I would honestly say that was probably, it's either going to be a 50-40 crowd or a 60-40 crowd, I think, opposing it. Right now, I do think there's going to be a bigger crowd next time from both groups, okay? But so let's start with the people that clearly oppose me. So when I get in there, when people are looking at you, Mike, where they're giving you that look, and it's like, okay, they know they're looking at you with a purpose, not just looking at you. So I felt like a bunch of owls just staring at me.
We know who you are. Especially because the people staring at you were all dressed in that garb too. They're all
it was on camera. It was on camera, right? So that was when I was walking inside. I said, okay, this, in my brain, I went, there's no way they're going through with this. And I even looked at the cop. I said, it's a fire hazard, isn't it? Because there's too many people. There was too many people in that room. They couldn't stuff another person in there. So when I walked outside, I set the camera up, and when I turned around, it was just very interesting because the people that were looking at me inside followed me outside. And the way it was, you had steps that walked up, and they were standing on this platform, but they were standing kind of off of the camera's angle, like one off to the right and off to the left. But they were in, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 of them, something like that, that were just, and they were over the rail, just like mean dogging me.
Really?
Oh, man. Yeah, just staring at me.
Wow.
That's when I turned around. If anyone was watching the video, go ahead, go to my Facebook page, Mike Calabrese. You can see all of this stuff. That's when I turned around, and I looked in my head goes, wow, you're trying to, this is like a little intimidation. This is like a football team coming out and lining up and looking at me. And I'm not the guy that's going to be intimidated. So I just looked over and said, hey, anybody want to talk to me? Does anybody want to talk? Somebody come down here. I'm looking at anybody pro and con. And one guy's like, it depends on what side you're on. I said, I'm on the side of truth. I'm from the Brick Breakdown. Come on, come talk to me. I wanted to talk to everybody. And the crazy part is, guess how many people wanted to talk to me on camera?
How many?
0. Not a fucking person. Not one. Not one. Matter of fact, I had to tell people over and over, I'm like, the camera's live. This is live. They could see you here talking. This is live. And then one woman's like, "Why do you tell me this is live?" I was like, "I only said it like 6 times." But, but what are you gonna do, man?
You're gonna have to get one of those boards like you see. It says live recording in progress. You know what I mean?
Right?
You know what I mean? Live public filming in progress. You will be broadcast. You know, so.
I'm gonna have to, but I think in today's world, you have to know. I'm talking into the camera, turning around, talking into the camera. I think we know what I'm doing there. But it was the cool. Let me start with something that was awesome. When everyone stopped to say the Pledge of Allegiance, because they did that before they canceled it. Everyone stopped. Right? Jews, the non-Jewish, every single person stopped and said the Pledge of Allegiance. And it was right there where I looked at this and said, it's very interesting because this is two groups in America fighting for America's land. And it's something it was very interesting to witness because they were all American. They all stopped pledge allegiance. I don't know, if they're Israeli or both ways, who knows what's going on, but everyone stopped cold. Find that interesting, bro?
Yeah, I love that. I also have a thought. It's very interesting because remember, a lot of what you're dealing with is geographic. We don't have tiny hats where I'm at. I mean, we do, but hardly. Like, I remember last time I was in Jersey, year before last, March, I did an event up there, and I was tripping. I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Like on the news and, the comedians I know in New York that make jokes. Oh, this is a thing. Like, this is a large culture and percentage of people that live around here. You just don't see that in Oklahoma and Texas like that.
No,
I mean, you'll see some, but you just don't
see different groups. You see every area has their groups that manipulate laws, right?
Well, and I think,
listen, I didn't mean to pick on one group. In this case, this was the fresh thing that's in my head, and I'm telling you about what takes place. But I think there's people of all walks of life. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of people that are in that town, Manchester, right now that are mooching off the government on government assistance. They're in the same boat. I don't like those. I don't like their actions just the same.
For us, and not to for us currently where I live, it's what do you call it? Like Pakistanis and Indians from India and Pakistan.
Oh,
there are a whole lot of those folks, and they're kind of like,
my friend, Indians. Yes,
yes,
thank you. I'll come again.
And I love them. I have nothing against them personally, and I understand wanting to come here, but when they start kind of literally like taking over chunks of the city, you know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, we didn't, you know what I mean? So I absolutely understand. Now, here's why I think you're anti-Semitic. I think you're just overall racist and a terrible human. And that's the most important part, right?
Guilty. I'm guilty as no. You're right, dude. Because that's the thing. The question today is Mike anti-Semitic?
Yes.
And I think yes.
Why are you? The question should be, why are you so anti-Semitic? I'm kidding.
I'm anti everything.
Yeah, that's exactly. Hey, man, look, I feel like once you get over 40, if you're a white man in America and you're over 40 and you are not rich, you are legally allowed to hate everybody and everything, okay? You know what I'm saying? You should be allowed. Where's that? Hold on, I got to pull the clip, man. You know who Charleston White, the comedian, is?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Have you seen that clip where he's like, I hate everything?
Everything. Yeah, I think I played it on one of the shows before. But I totally agree with him. It's not your one group of people. It's all groups of people that try doing this stuff. Yes, I don't care. I am guilty of sin. You call me a bigot. You call me racist. You call me anti-Semite. You call me. I am saying on the show right now that I admit to being every single one of those things. I am the most racist person on the planet because I don't like any of you races. I don't like none of you. I don't like any of you people. Okay, I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your religion is. There's an asshole in every color, in every cloak, in every hat. Doesn't matter. You show me a face or a religion, and I'll show you an asshole behind it.
Exactly. Well, and okay, man. So I'm with you here. Like, what's the solution, right? Okay, so
I don't know. So that's the beauty of this. Let me get to that point. That's a great question. So all of a sudden, as you guys watched, people started coming out talking to me, and everybody's talking because the problem really is in that town for the people that want to fight back against this. Everything is deemed anti-Semitic. So you can't say anything, or they're going to sue you and say, "Oh, no, you guys are anti-Semitic, so we have to build it now," and the courts just let them do it. So the people have to go out there, and the people just can't speak their mind. They have to formulate a way to go at this to where they can't be sued. You feel where I'm going? And then the coolest part about this was everybody was talking to me, and everyone's talking about why this can't take place and gathering and really introducing themselves to me was the coolest part about the entire thing. I've never had that happen. And then I take the cameras down, Mike, and I take the cameras down, and all of a sudden, there's no way to say this with anybody watching this. Two of the hottest Jewish girls I've ever seen in my life come walking out to me. When I tell you two of the hottest, I mean they were hot for like non-Jewish girls, but two of the hottest Jewish girls I've ever seen in my life come walking out to me, and my first thought was, damn. Like, oh wow. Where do they keep you guys? I've never seen.
See if we could get you on camera. It makes more sense.
So I was like, hey, you want to talk? She's like, I would love to talk. I said, on camera? She's like, no, I'm a little shy. I said, all right. But her and her friend, beautiful girls. And then the next thought that whipped through my head was like, man, these are Mossad agents or something like that. They're trying to honeypot. I know what a honeypot is.
That's what I'm talking about.
You ain't catching me in no honeypot situation. I know what a honeypot is, right? That's my brain's going on. Like, yo, there's no way just two random hot Jewish girls can walk it up out of all the people that were here.
As soon as you put your cameras away.
As soon as I put the camera away.
Action. You know what I mean?
I was like, no way.
You there.
And listen, they were very nice. They're like very nice, and talked to me about it, but talk to the whole group about a bunch of different things. And listen, that's the crazy part about this is like when you get to know all these people I do jobs for, a lot of them are really cool, really, really nice. It just, I don't know what happens with the systematic way in which things do. You call it white flight or whatever you call it, but they came over here and one of them I spoke to about what they were going through. And I'm going to give you the other side, right? Because I want everybody just to kind of have an idea of what everybody is really dealing with, okay? Like right now, if you live in our area and you're me, you see what I just told you. But if you're her, the mikveh is a sacrament. It's a sacred thing. It's something that you have to do. It's not something that you choose to do. You are Jewish. This is what you have to do. And it's, from my understanding, going to the mikveh is not just like going to the mikveh. It's a 7-day process. So it's not just like a thing. It is a pain in the ass thing that, from what I understand, a lot of the Jewish girls don't really like doing it because it's a little intrusive with some of the things that they have to do leading up to going to it, right? What their argument is that it's going to be very quiet. It happens, you could either drive there or walk there, but it was confirmed that you drive there at night, you go there, you take a dip, you have to stay under for 20 seconds. It's some type of magic rainwater. And I'm not, when I say magic, but it's some type of rainwater that I guess they blessed or whatever. And the only thing I was thinking was like that, Ricky Bobby, when he was like, it's water from a glacier in Alaska, So
I was thinking of the Mormons and the golden plates in the hat.
So this is, now there are certain times where they, have to walk there because they can't take their cars. So I get the situation. And the thing is, you have to go to this thing, and it's not, they swear it's only going to service a small amount of women. It's not like they want to congregate. It's not something where they hang out. Apparently it's very discreet. It's not like you want to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to the mikveh right now. It's a ritual after having your monthly, okay, or giving birth or any of these things. And then that cleanses you, and I guess you could have sex and you could do all the other things. So to them, having this right there is a big convenience, right? I get it. Being able to just go there, being able to walk, having it in your neighborhood. I get where you're coming from. I really do. And from what I understand, that's the idea behind what they are trying to do. That's their argument. But does that belong in a neighborhood? That's the point of this entire thing, right? And that's why I spent all this time talking to you about the mikveh and what it actually is, because I want you to give me an honest opinion. And I see a bunch of people in the chat: Mama Dukes, PT Pod, Mrs. Hall, A. Calder, East Jersey Abe, Yankee 68, Jay Calder, I think was the first one in the chat.
Yeah.
But I want you to give me your honest opinion of it, right? Where do her religious rights start? And understanding what she has to go through with that religious process, and it's like I said, something she has to do. But where does something she has to do start interfering in any way with the neighborhood at large, and then changing the neighborhood into, it's a service essentially. What it really is, it's a service given to women. To me, it's no different than nails, hair, any of that stuff. So what's to stop from opening up a nail studio and calling it religious nails, or hair studio and saying it's religious hair? That's where I think we have to discuss and figure out, because going to court, you claim anti this, but we have no claim to anti anything.
Yeah, but okay, so what I'm hearing 3 main points, and I'll deal with those. The first one is that commercial zoning one. I don't think that's one you're going to win, simply because it is a religious nonprofit thing. And as we know, that stuff has been set up basically to take advantage of or to circumvent laws and the will of the local people, and to kind of put what you want into a place, you know what I mean? And then say it's under the guise of your religion, right? So, and what's frustrating about that is, you understand, when the Constitution was written, it was religious communities, the way we have racial communities now, right? Or it was racial communities that just had their religion. Like, we, yours and mine, we were Catholics coming over. You know what I mean? I'm not personally Catholic now, but I know that probably my Irish and German great-great-grandfathers were, right? Then I have Native American in my family, actually a lot, believe it or not. They were not Christians or Jewish or Muslim either. So I think, so when it comes down to that, I think that you'll lose there. Now, it is absolutely wrong, I think, to bring race into it. I think that is, that is just a liberal tactic. It's actually a tactic started by maybe the folks in question. If you look back, in the history and all of that fun stuff. However, regardless of all of that, it's not fair to call you a name because, you want something different. Now, to me, the question is, the question you asked was, where do her religious rights begin and our rights end? I think it's a different question. I think it comes down to the will of the people in the neighborhood, right? It's that simple to me, because it's okay. For instance, I'm going to switch it and go Muslim, right? So, because I know you wouldn't want the Muslim equivalent of a mikvah in your neighborhood either, right? Neither would I.
Or a Catholic equivalent of whatever that is, or a
correct,
Baptist equivalent of whatever it is. Like any of it that's going to pretend that when I say pretend, that's what I mean. You're a business, but under the guise of a religion. You're pretending it's not a business and saying, "Oh no, it's really a religious thing."
So fair, but I mean, to me, remember, I live in a different place. Like, you live in a much more populated place where you guys have to deal with each other on a different level. I live in the kind of place where people go to get away from that, right? Where you go buy your own 10 acres. David Koresh, right, was down the street from me. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we clearly have, I live in a condo, right? So we have cities, but a lot of people believe you should live the way you want to live in your neighborhood. I personally am one of those people that believes that counties should be way more respected, right? Your county should have basically the same rights as the state, in that your vote should be very, very powerful, much more powerful than it is. And of course, not to get too deep into it, but of course they know that they water down your vote when it's one of 150 million. When your vote is one of 10,000, that's a much more loud voice. So your county, your community, for that matter. So to me, the question is, what does the neighborhood want, right? What does the neighborhood want? And unfortunately, that means that up to 40% of the people are going to be unhappy in that neighborhood. But also, say for, coming to blows, forcing people out, the best way to do it is to vote and give people go, hey, man, in our neighborhood, we don't want a mosque. In our neighborhood, we don't want a temple. In our neighborhood, we don't want a mikvah. In our neighborhood, we don't want a Baptist church, whatever the case. In our neighborhood, or by the same token, see, that's somebody was talking to me about in Texas right now. They're building a big Muslim community with one of the largest Muslim statues like in the world is going up
Yep.
in like, rural Texas right now. I think it's Muslim. And people were like, Bob, I'm like, well, that's America. Unfortunately, if you want the freedoms, you have to give the freedoms. And if people take 100 acres and they want to obey all the federal and local laws, they're allowed to worship how they want to worship, who they want to worship. And that's just the way it is. They can homeschool. They don't have to take their kids to the doctor or vaccinate them. That's just the way it is. And unfortunately, if we want to put that on them, that they need to be doing these things, we have to give up some of our own stuff, right? So to me, it comes down to, what does the community want? If your community says no, then you have a right to live in your homes and the taxes you pay, property, and you're in Jersey, so the taxes are like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's insane. And that's the thing. They're going up and up and up and up and up. And our kids in the public schools, they're getting less and less and less and less. You see such a disparity in how government doles things out, because what group is more powerful? There's another they game to this, where when people like me and you or anybody on the left, well, we're squabbling about left or right or this or that. You have a group of people that can really change a dynamic just by how they vote. When you have 80-90% that go, yep, hey, go this way, or 94% go this way, and they all vote in one way. Isn't, like, to me, that's another form of, it's not like, hey, I'm going to give you money to your campaign, but it's saying, hey, you do this for us, you're going to have 95% of our vote, which when you look at the numbers, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. So that, these type of things, I get, there has to be protections for the minority. And that's one of the things that I think everyone forgets with America setting up as a republic. The reason why it's set up as a republic is for what you said, to empower the community, so the minority, or the people that are on the precipice of being the minority, still have the protection from not having other religions or other theologies pushed onto them, because the Constitution protects them. And I would love to see something as also freedom from any type of religion, because that's why when I went off on freedom and government need to be 100% separate, this is the type of stuff that's in my mind when I'm saying that stuff. Because one of these days, when you look at your panel and you look at certain panels and it's all one group of people, and there's no diversity in the panel, and that's all it is. And then your panel used to have diversity, and now it's all one group of people. And now you're such a minority where you have no say, no voice whatsoever in your own town that you grew up in. And that's a situation that a lot of people are facing. That's something that people are going to fight back against, and they're not going to tolerate.
Yeah. And what are the things that could possibly happen in your neighborhood if this goes into the? Let me explain it like this. Okay, so I was around, Indian casinos, right? And the government changed the laws, and the second largest casino in the world is in my state, and it's great. And people literally come from all over the place to go there and hang out and do the thing. Now, the town that it's in, though, is like a trash town now. You know what I mean? $75 will buy you everything you want in that town. And you can get anything you want, So it's it's Chickasha, Oklahoma, and it is the Wild West. It is the most, like, if you're like, hey, Mike, show me what a real life nowadays Wild West town is. I'm like, oh, I got you. Let's go. It's where the casino is. It's nuts, yep. Right? So, man, you want to see some white trash, bro? Like, I can show you next level. But regardless, my point is, having this come into your neighborhood, what are the concerns? Are concerns like, okay, well, you're going to have young women walking unprotected back and forth in the neighborhood, which could cause crime, could attract predators, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Do you feel like it will begin a gentrification process?
So are you asking what's the concern of the people around here about?
Is there
about
just
the
situation? Is there? Yeah.
So the main concerns of people that are around here are congestion and traffic, and the sheer amount of people, especially in a town next to us. So you take Lakewood, and once again, you say that, and all of a sudden that's anti-Semitic, right? But you say that word. I think in the last 20 years, Lakewood's population went from like 53,000 to 170, or wherever it's at right now, 160, 170. It's absolutely exploded, right? The woman I was talking to had 6 kids. I didn't even think she was over 28 years old. She had 6 kids, and it was like, wow. I mean, and she looked great for 6 kids, right? But I mean, this is the point, the thing you're talking about. And I'm not hating on them for having 6 kids. Have as many kids as you want. But when that's your custom, you can outvote people very, very, very fast. I mean, very fast. You can take over areas very fast. And then what happens is you start when you said you moved away from things, there's people that live away from it and it's just coming into them. It's like a city is just coming out and it's one big orifice. And they're already talking about making Lakewood a city with bringing in brick and making it the city of Lakewood and all the outskirts of it. It's kind of very weird what they're talking about doing in this area, but that's what starts happening. That's the concern. And then the concern is what happens with us in particular in this area. It starts affecting our schools because in New Jersey, where we live in particular, you have a real asshole governor who I think screwed Ocean County because we voted against him. Okay. He took millions. If you guys have heard me talk about this before, millions and millions and millions of dollars from our schools. And now our kids have to go to school with classes with people 30, 35 kids in it. Okay. That's our class size, 30. They did their best to keep it under 30. That's no bullshit.
Wow.
So when you see that happening and you see Brickby having taken $25 million and you see Tom's River having millions of dollars taken from them, and one of the main reasons why they cite that we need less money is because less enrollment, because everybody from the Jewish community go to private schools, which let me digress for a second. We have to figure out how the Jewish community can teach their kids Monday through Sunday, every single day, and somehow they could profit off this or they could make that work when we can't teach our kids in a public school system. They have it down somehow. Maybe we ask them, how do we make that work? But anyway, I don't think they have the issues we have, right? But to get back to this, the schools lose money because they have less people in it. But then what happens is the people that come in, let's say like Tom's River, their kids now go to Lakewood private schools. So the Tom's River buses have to pay, the public school system has to pay to bus those kids. It's called a pass-through law. Some say it's federal, some say it's state, whatever, right? But it's a law that states that you have to take these kids to the Catholic schools. And I know it because brick schools used to have to bus me to my Catholic school when I went there. But the numbers with all of the amount of kids that are coming out and the amount of buses that need to run, and they run Monday through Sunday, for someone like Jackson, New Jersey, it was in 7 years, it was over $20 million. $20 million, Mike. Ooh. Right? So yeah. So these are big numbers. So when you see new schools going up and they're for one group of people, and there's mikvahs going up for one group of people, nobody else is involved. It's a segregation thing that people are segregating themselves. You're not living a part of the community. You're living in a segregated way away from everybody else under your own guise, under everything you're doing. And that's what we see. We see our schools going to shit. We see our funding going to shit. We see our taxes going up. And we're seeing our home values going up because for whatever reason, when they come into an area, they will overpay for those houses. Okay.
Oh, yeah. On purpose.
Yeah. On purpose.
I mean,
yeah.
Bro, that's the game.
Yes, but there's a lot of it's overpaid for the first bunch, underpaid for the last bunch. It all works itself out.
Don't even get me started, bro. Man, right? Look, don't make me go Kanye West on this show, bro. Okay,
I'm not sure. Go full Kanye. I don't give a shit. But
I'm kidding.
You know where I'm going, Mike. This is the game that it does, and you're not living with society at that point. When you see a group of 20,000 Somalis in one area, group another Afghanis and another 40,000 of them here, 50,000 of them here, and next thing you know, they're going to be 120,000. They're going to be 400,000 that want to live by themselves, their old way, not according to America, not assimilate, not live with the surrounding communities. What is the solution to that? I don't know what the solution. I don't have a solution. The only thing I know to do is try to stop it.
Yeah, man. Well, here's the part that you got to ask is, where's the money coming from? Because the whole point about being an immigrant is you're not leaving riches and wealth to come to America to get more riches and wealth. The idea is you're coming here to build a new future. And if you do come here with money, it's to build business, to integrate, to get Americans of all stripes, you know what I mean? To buy your coffee or to, you know what I mean? Buy your tires or whatever the case. So if they want to completely, wall themselves off from society and create their own things, where's the money to do that coming from? Right?
Well, there's a lot of businesses, but that's the thing. No one knows how the community works, right? And don't get me wrong. The people I spoke to, they didn't seem like they wanted to wall themselves off. But inevitably seems like what happens when you
that's
watch it happen.
yeah, because
It's what takes place. And then it's one just community that lives separate everybody else. And then it builds animosity, and then then it starts building rumor and ridiculousness and hatred. And then what you see is, oh, they're just going to take over. And then as soon as you say that, oh no, you're a fucking anti-Semite. So it goes into just calling names back and forth, and there's zero productive discussion. And this is what you see no matter where you go, no matter what it is in government, whether it's Congress or whatever. It's the same monkey shit fight in a zoo.
How close is the nearest synagogue to you, to your where the mikveh would be? Sorry, like miles wise.
First off, there's mikvahs in a lot of different areas. Like the women right now that are living in the area obviously have to travel to a mikveh. They have to do it every month.
Right, but
right?
My
so
question is
it's a hardship. So
for something like that, if there's a local place of worship for those folks, near them, not too far away, why wouldn't they, set something up there, build something there? They could build something very nice that wouldn't be an old house that but they could literally build.
Because it's not as much of a convenience because they can't walk to it. The whole idea is they have to be able to walk to it because there's certain days like the Sabbath, like Saturday, they can't drive or any of that stuff, so they have to be able to walk to it. And that's where it is, yeah. But listen, I mean, that to me was fascinating to me because I'm trying to think of the solutions to this, man. But I don't know if one group wants to have solutions with the other. And I tell you the one thing. The other group isn't as organized as the other. The one group is 100% together. It's a solitary unit moving as a solitary movement. It's a team. They have a process. They have a way about them. They move, boom, and that's it. It's like a football field. It's like a football team. And the other is a group of people that just came together and say, hey, what can we do? We play football. Yeah, I can play quarterback. You're the running back. You're the receiver. You feel what I'm saying? We're drawing plays on our shirt, and they're like, Blue 80, fucking Omaha. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that's really what you're fucking doing. You're playing, man. It's crazy. But let's move on because we had this was great. And going from crazy to crazier. This is Trump and Putin. This is a big bunch of nothing that was coming out of this thing that I watched so far. But you did have one awesome moment take place in the Trump Putin thing. Check this out.
President Putin, will you stop killing civilians? President Putin, how can the U.S. trust your words?
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
He's like, I don't know, maybe I don't, but I'm going to kill more people. Yes, I'm definitely not going to stop doing it.
Louis, I didn't get to, I was doing stuff. And unfortunately, they were like coming out right as we were about to go. Is there any updates on that? Man, I should have been checking that. Sorry.
Listen, I was doing the exact same thing. I listened to it for a little bit. It didn't sound like anything groundbreaking was coming out of it. So I started checking on the show. So if anybody has it in the chat, let me know. See what anybody else is reporting. There's somebody out there. There's some media company that's like, well, you know what they did? They gave each other hand jobs, and then once they gave each other hand jobs, then they agreed to stop the war, but that hasn't come out yet. It's like I had the scene behind. We had a guy behind the scene, and it was we have the secret guy, and he's going to tell us all of it.
I pulled it up. If you want to pull it up, I got the Fox News.
You the Fox News?
The headline. It just says it's exactly what you said. It's exactly what you said. Do you see that?
Yeah. So I said I heard a real basic. Real basic thing about it. And I was like, I started listening to, I was like, okay, this is a whole bunch of nothing. This means we talked. Tomorrow or Monday, Trump's going to be like, I don't know. Putin's a fucking asshole, man. He literally left. He got home and immediately bombed the shit out of Ukraine. I don't know. I thought we had a good conversation, but he was just bombing the shit out of everybody. I don't know. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
They're so mad too, by the way, and I think that's hilarious. I mean, what should we do
about what?
Well, give me as far as this war in Ukraine goes, what's he supposed to be doing? Just keeping on writing blank checks to Ukraine? No, it's called diplomacy, stupid. You're just mad that it's Trump, because well, no one would listen to Biden. You couldn't put Biden in a high-level ending war level meeting like that. So it's so frustrating to me because what the fuck, man? Like, what do you, pardon my language, sorry, but what the heck, man? Like, what do you want him to? The best possible thing we could have is our president meeting with the guy, talking to him about a ceasefire. And I watched Trump's interview, earlier today with Brett Baer before, and he's like, I want to come out with a ceasefire. Now, I don't know if they have, but he was like, I will feel like this is a failed meeting if we do not come out with a ceasefire. He's like, either there will be many more great meetings or this will be the only meeting. It's that simple. Trump said that, which was like, wow. So I want to know, have they decided to stop each other for a little while?
You know what's great, though? You ever see Trump shake hands? So Trump, like, met him out. They're walking on red carpet, you know. Trump puts his hand out and grabs you and like yanks you the fuck in. And he gets you like right in here. He's like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the fucking man. You ever seen that? Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to kind of yank back a little bit at him. I'm surprised Putin let his hand get yanked like that. I thought Putin's the man. I thought he plays hockey still with his chest out in the middle of fucking Siberia, scoring 47 goals a night because if you stop his puck, you get killed the next day. I thought that's who he was, and he let himself get pulled in by Trump. That's what you call a boss. That's what you call the president, man. You gotta love him.
And Putin knows him. You know what I'm saying? Putin knows him too. So, Putin might be like, yeah, I know Trump. This is how he does. This is what he does. So I wonder what's going to go down. I just wonder what's going to go down there. So, I mean,
I don't know, man. What are they going to do? Like, do you really think Russia's going to give up the land?
Yeah, let them have it.
At this point, you have to let them have it. They took it. They won. Okay, now they get that. You get this. Everyone shuts the fuck up. Now stop fighting.
Exactly, and that's the thing, man. Big bang take little bang. Sorry, welcome to the planet. You know what I mean? Let me open up the history books to the earliest times of war ever recorded. Oh, the bigger, stronger army wins? Oh, okay. Well, let's move on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, literally, you name me a time ever in history where the idea of the role that Russia is playing would lose to the idea that Ukraine is playing, the role that Ukraine is playing in this war. No. Ukraine is a turd out of Russia's ass, okay? Ukraine was Russia, right? And then they got slick and they started, people don't know, I think we've covered this before. They annexed Russian people off. They started starving them. They dammed up the lake so they couldn't even have water. And Putin was like, treat our people better. Oh, they made it illegal to go to Russian Orthodox churches and they made it illegal to speak Russian. They made it illegal to speak your native language. And then Putin comes in and is like, no, we're blowing this stuff up. We're not having this happen like this. And, and then it became, what it is now. So I don't know, man. And then, there's the pipeline stuff and the arguing back and forth. And we admitted we blew up their pipeline finally, which is an act of war. And look, man, at the end of the day, yeah, let Russia have the warm water. That's what they want. They want the Strait of Hormuz. That's what they want. They want the warm water port so they, can have their energy pipelines, and that's what they want. The end. So I say, and I think Trump has figured this out, let him have it, because the whole point is to sell that energy, right? And it's what, China, India, Africa, and I want to say, I can't think of the last country, maybe some in Europe.
But I don't know why we don't do business with Russia. I don't know why we don't just start like putting some bullshit away. They seem like a religious country. They're a Christian nation for the most part. Yeah, they're crazy as fuck, but you tell me they have the potential. They're the largest landmass on the planet, aren't they? They're gigantic. Russia's gigantic.
Clearly, you haven't been watching MSNBC. They're the bad guys, okay? They're the bad guys. You're not listening, you Nazi. They're the bad guys. But they're no worse than anybody else. They're the bad guys.
I forgot I'm a Nazi. I was declared a Nazi today on fucking on
you on Wednesday night. Shut up. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Xi Jinping in China is doing some of the most brutal. Literally, he's got famine going on that nobody's reporting on, and that's all well and good. So, starving is fun. And that was something I wanted to talk to you about before. It is, okay, so Karl Marx was he was part of the Tiny Hat Posse, right? He was a self-hating one of those guys. And there's a reason we know so much more about the Holocaust and we know so little about the Bolshevik Revolution, which killed more people. Which one? Which one do you think killed more people due to evil, forceful government policies? Which one?
I think it's the Bolshevik Revolution by like millions.
We know much about that. Why isn't every time I open my freaking Facebook or look at my phone, are we talking about the even more people that died due to death, destruction, and what? Famine. Why famine? Because Marxism doesn't work and it depends on a slave class. And once the slave class goes, no, we're not the slave class anymore. You have no means of production to seize. Ergo, everything falls apart and you start cannibalizing the poorest and the weakest until it goes all the way up. And then you have people like Karl Marx killing themselves ultimately. However, the point to all of that is that's the idea, man. If you look into it, what they're doing is the idea. It's that locust idea. I'm the county commissioner. I'm the mayor. I'm the city council leader. I'm the, you know what I mean? I'm the city waterworks manager. And you get those people, and then you get the local senators, and it's the locusts come in, and so it doesn't matter. You stay focused on, Trump and whoever the angry black chick that Fox can't stop putting out saying, look how crazy and nutty she is. Forgot her name. Anyway,
well, which one? There's so many angry black chicks.
there's one. That's one, you know what I mean? So anyway, the point is not Ketanji Brown Jackson. That was the other one. But anyway, but
No,
yes, you're right.
That's a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, well, and I mean, still, and yet.
You're talking like that the little cute one that's like the wannabe.
Yeah, she's kind of cute, but she's always
wants to be ghetto, but she's not.
Yeah.
She's like some prep rich kid. Yeah.
Yeah, just
kind of like
a lot.
Sandy Cortez.
Yeah. And she's like, being an illegal immigrant is not a crime. She literally said that. It is not illegal to come into this country illegally. It's like, wait, what?
They have a lot of people thinking that, man. Just pure absolute insanity. All right, Mike, dude, we have reached our limit here, bro. That actually, once again, the nights go fast. Sorry if I berated everybody if you didn't want to hear that, but I had to tell you my experience with that, man. Because, dude, it's Mike. It's honestly blown my mind. What I witnessed there has honestly blown my mind. I really don't need. I don't know how to even. I don't know how to make heads or tails of it, and I feel like we have to make heads or tails of it because I feel like we're reaching a boiling point. The fact that blew up that fast tells me that something's reaching a boiling point in my area, and I want to figure out what it is. And I'm not saying I can stop it, but I like to at least identify it and be there to watch it if it happens. So.
I think it also talks about how your community lacks representation and you stepping up to be that representation. It's needed. You're filling a void. You know what I mean? You're not like campaigned. You know what I mean? There's not posters of you going, vote for Calderis or anything like that. You're a guy making videos. You're a hardworking blue collar guy making videos, and you're that guy now, man, because it's needed.
Want to make a video? Let's make a video right now. Ready? Hi, I'm Mike Calderis. I'm not running for shit
yet. But when he is, please vote for him because I need the job as the assistant. So, yeah.
Not running for a fucking thing. But hey, man, listen, Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
PT Pod, baby, 5 days a week. Come see us on the PT Pod. If you're available, I know your life is crazy, man, but if you're available Tuesday, come on. I'm always going to send you the link and you have a standing invite. Sometimes Calder Reese joins us on Tuesday nights. That's PT Pod on Rumble, rumble.com/PT Pod. Please subscribe. And tomorrow we'll be running the super stream. As you know, it's like a TV channel all day. You can tune in and watch some stuff. We'll have this on there and all kinds of fun stuff.
Hey, you could add my my mayor or my interview with Republican mayor candidate.
Yeah, is that cool? If I do, hell
man,
yeah, bro.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
Ripping
Yes.
that off.
Yes.
If you're here, definitely check it out. 9 a.m. in the morning, I will be on. I'll do a quick little breakdown for Brick, and then I'm going to be airing that. It's about 40 minutes long. It was really good interview. Nice little get to know you interview. Let me know in the chat how good or bad I did. But I think it was nice that finally somebody stepped up, sat down with me because these people are scared to. And it's nice to have a mayor candidate that at least wasn't scared to sit down and talk to me. I think she was a little petrified, a little bit. You stepping next to Calderis, man. Gotta be a little petrified if you step in that seat. I'm just fucking around. But definitely check out Mike. Definitely check out our boys, the Bearded Viking Meat Company, the Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. They are absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
And listen, everybody, I've been telling everybody to be their own caltrops. And one of the things that I witnessed today, and why I was so excited and why I made this show about my experience, is I watched a whole bunch of caltrops in action. I saw a whole bunch of people get there and become their own caltrop. They were their own defense weapon. They didn't sit on the sidelines and just watch it happen. They actually got out there and they were their own means of defense. And the only way you're going to get what you want in your town is by voicing your opinion and being your own caltrop. You have to be the caltrop in your own existence. Because listen, I'm going to be here to tell you everything that you need to know, but you have to be the one to get off the couch and make it happen. And I'm only going to be here to try to help you do that. But thank you guys very much. Finger the fuck out of my like button. Finger it to the point where your hand stinks. I don't know. If you do, you need to wipe your screen because that's going to be your
Until you
problem.
need to go to a mikvah to wash it off.
Hey, the Caltrop, Mike Calderese, Mike Hall. We are